Okay, so we shared some really big news over the past few days on the guide. It's out there. Liverpool has been talking about this on social media. When I first seen it, I was gutted. Really sad news, but also kind of looking ahead to the next 12 months. Potentially really positive news as well. I'm talking about Africa Oyé. Years and years we've enjoyed that festival, the events around it in Sefton Park, and we've been lucky to have it for so long, free of charge. And it's something I'll talk about in a second, about how lucky we've had that. It's changing. This year it won't happen. Next year it will be back bigger and stronger. Paul Duhaney, festival organiser. Tell us about this week, first of all. Tell us about the news. In your words, what is it that we put out there? What's happened this week?
Yeah, so past 2 years, and particularly post-COVID, festival infrastructure and production costs have gone through the roof, up 30% across the board. For us, that's kind of unsustainable moving forward. We've lost something like 150k over the last 2 years in terms of trying to keep the festival going for free. And it's just hit that point where, from our funders' point of view, as a business point of view, we can't operate it like that anymore. We had to basically pull the plug for this year. And when we say pull the plug, we haven't actually planned anything yet. But in terms of our usual activities, we're going to have a fallow year this year. And we're going to reevaluate and come back stronger for 2026. Now, there's two reasons behind that, and one of them is obviously financial, which I've alluded to before. Just to give people a sense of this, to cleanse the park alone, it's costing £20,000. When we first started the festival, that was a cost of zero. Security, £30,000, stage and production, £80,000, and the list goes on and on and on. And these prices go up every year. There's nothing you can do about it, in the sense of you have to have these things in place because the event wouldn't happen. You wouldn't get a license for them. So we're kind of stymied in that sense of, we had to reevaluate and see how we can move forward. So that's the position we're in at the moment. The second thing that I was going to say was the health and safety aspect, and that's really important for people to take on board. I mean, we live in a completely different world. We have to be very vigilant about, I'm responsible in my mind for 40,000 people, the safety of 40,000 people a day, and I think it would be negligent not to look at the situation we're in at the moment and mitigate those circumstances in any way, in what we can. At the moment, we have an open and planned festival with no tickets, and as beautiful as that is as a site and for sounds and stuff, from a safety point of view, it's a bit of a nightmare. And the city council, they've brought that to our attention as well in terms of licensing and moving forward. So that's another reason why we've had to take a fallow year this year.
It's interesting when you say those numbers, and you say 20,000, 30,000, and all in all the festival costs a lot more than that per year. But hearing those figures, it kind of shows how much we do take it for granted that it is free, how much work goes in, how much money you need to put it together. Because we've had it for so long, this almost stops you in your tracks and makes you go, wow, God, we've been lucky. I wish I would have supported a bit more. Do you know what I mean? That must frustrate you, but also
it is frustrating. But to be honest, we have always put the message out that we want people to come and enjoy the day out for free. To bring their own food and drink and contribute where you possibly can. But I just think post-COVID, the world's changed, and funding's not as prevalent. There's cuts left, right and centre, which means that if everything's being cut but everything's going up, from our point of view, it just doesn't add up, does it? So we had to make a conscious decision based on that, and it's really for the long-term survival of the organisation. People have been getting this festival free for over 30 years, and I'd be hard pushed to think of anywhere in the country, let alone Europe, that puts on a free international music festival with all those concessions in place, accessible to all. people from all walks of life have been attending. I mean, the one thing for me which is disappointing about not having it this year is the people that it will affect, in terms of the traders that normally go there, the artists that perform, the public that kind of look forward to that one event that they can go to, which they feel like almost like there's no restrictions on them. People's mental health, people with low income. There's so many people that it's going to affect, and lots of businesses, lots of small businesses that rely on Oyé to almost like keep them going throughout the year. The local shops and businesses as well that benefit, around Lark Lane and around the park.
Tell us about the reaction, because we've seen on our side, just from our socials, a really supportive reaction. Obviously, everyone is gutted it's not happened. People look forward to it. But they kind of understand the situation, and they know, it's going to be back next year. What's it been like for you, the reaction from the city of Liverpool and Oyé fans?
Do you know what? I was actually, a lot of my team were pretty apprehensive about this reaction that we were going to get. But you know what? I was pretty positive, because I think that people understand that we do live in a different world today, and that, the fact that they were getting this festival for so long has been such a benefit and a bonus. So the overriding reaction has been, yes, we're extremely disappointed, but we're really looking forward to 2026. So I think that this actually could be a catalyst for us, being in a better position moving forward. As obviously at the beginning, disappointment, hurt, but it's like everything, grief. You go through it all. But I've kind of come to terms with it, and it's almost like, how do we turn this to a positive? And all the people that work with us and have worked with us, I think I get a lot of the credit, but it's definitely not all about me. There's a team of people, freelancers, that have been working with us for a number of years, that have give their life and soul and heart to make this festival happen, and I think they should be commended as well. And we're going to make sure that we try and support them as much as possible, and make sure that they're still kept in employment as well.
Typical Liverpool, Paul. There's a lot of people on Facebook, on Instagram, saying, right, come on, let's get together, let's do a fundraiser, let's say we'll pay for tickets this year. That is Liverpool, isn't it? That's the mentality, especially with the fan base that you've got. That's actually impossible, isn't it? We've got to put that out there. As much as we'd love that to happen, just explain why that can't happen.
I think the problem is that we've carried so much, as I said before, 75 grand a year we've lost in the last 2 years. So, it just, even fundraisers, or, trying to make it a ticket event this year is impossible, because of the short time frames. The festival's costing about £500,000, and to put it on this year would probably cost about £700,000, maybe 750. So we'd need a very big donation, or very big someone benevolent, if you're listening to this, Paul McCartney, out there to make it happen this year. So as much as I thank everyone out there for their support on that matter, just listen out for information moving forward, and then I'm sure there'll be ways that you can help us moving forward once the announcements start coming out for this year. We'll also have a lot of fundraising gigs going on throughout the summer, so look out for them, because they're going to be really important in terms of moving the festival forward. And I would say that from Liverpool City Council's point of view, and the Arts Council, you've seen in the press release, and I've met with them on numerous occasions, they're very supportive of the festival, and they realise how much it means to the people of Liverpool and how important it is. That gives me a bit more confidence, knowing that our two major funders are very supportive and behind us moving forward.
So after 2025, the fallow year, which I go to Glastonbury every year, we're used to getting a year off every now and then. That's how I think we should be looking at this. 2026, back bigger and stronger. It's still 18 months away, but I presume you've got your head focused on that.
Definitely.
What we can expect.
Yeah, I mean, we're literally starting on that now, because there's so many conversations to have. So at the moment, it's all about dialogue and conversations, and getting our partners on board, making sure that we've got sponsorship in place, and booking acts as well. booking acts is a sort of we start doing that a year in advance. So normally we'd have our like at the moment our application process is open for artists, but we'll keep that open, and then we'll open it again in June, and we look to announce some artists by the autumn for the following year. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of work to be done, a lot of soul searching, a lot of research and development, and looking at how we can move forward and keep this festival successful moving forward.
And can I also say a little chance for you and the team to put your feet up for a little bit of a well-earned break, at least a couple of weeks in June.
Yeah.
You've got
well,
to
yeah, we might get a couple of weeks off in June. Actually, I never thought of that.
Yeah,
that might be nice. But yeah, you do kind of, because we're so invested in the festival and the organisation, we don't really take breaks. I mean, I carry over probably about 15-20 days holiday a year, because I don't see holiday as being productive, really. I'm only going to get disturbed on it anyway, so we might as well just work through it. And yeah, I'm just used to it, you know. Oyé's been my life. I've been in Liverpool since 1998, and you know, Africa Oyé's been a constant in that time. So I'm very passionate about it. Like everyone who works on it, we call it the Oyé family. It's a completely different way of working. You've got to be a bit crazy and a bit of a sadomasochist really to work for Africa Oyé. But yeah, that's what we do, and we love doing it, and long may it continue.
Well, listen, mate, exciting times ahead. Obviously, it is sad news this week. We're going to miss it this year. Again, get on Africa Oyé's website, because it isn't just about that festival, that one weekend. There's tons of stuff you do, whether that's, you know, Oyé introduces, or as you mentioned, certain fundraising stuff. It's much more than just that weekend in June, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, we've always got stuff going on, whether it be learning and participation projects in schools. We've got some masterclasses coming up soon. We do concerts at places like the Philharmonic, the Tongue, District, Future Yard, spreading it around the city. So yeah, keep an eye out, because the brand will always, and obviously our radio shows and podcasts, so the brand will always be out there. So just continue to check out what we do, and continue to support Africa Oyé moving forward.
Okay, and then just from me personally, we've said it before many times, if you're sitting there, you've seen the news this week that it's not happening, you're a bit gutted, get behind it. Don't just talk about it. Please get behind it. Share it. Get on the website. Buy some merchandise, which you can do online, and get involved in these events. And we've got to say as well, like some outlets are putting out there, it's not because of the weather. It's nothing to do with the weather.
No, so, I mean, we couldn't have had better weather. I think we had the best weekend of all weekends last year. I mean, you couldn't have. I called it Goldilocks weather.
Yeah.
Not too hot, not too cold. Perfect. So yeah, it was a good one to leave a fallow year on. You know, you've got nice memories, and then hopefully we'll make some more moving forward.
Brilliant. We look forward to 2026. Paul Duhaney, Africa Oyé, thank you.
Thank you very much.